Hi guys, and welcome back for another F1 Clash video with myself, AzaWF1. As always, if you haven't already, please do like, comment and subscribe on the videos and show your support. Helps me keep coming back every single week, providing you more tips and content for you. So today we are looking at what I feel is currently the number one setup in F1 Clash. Now, if you are a lower series player, you may not have all these parts, but you can still take tips from me on what parts to go for your setup. We'll have a quick look at my stats. I mean, I rock this setup probably for a good few months now, and I've had the same sort of stats since the game has begun. I'm rocking an 83% win ratio. I've had a 62 max win streak. It definitely works, and it's definitely something to think about when looking at your setup. I don't believe that fast pit time strategies setups work. I'm not a fan of them. They will sometimes, but I don't believe they're very consistent. Same with using your best and worst driver. I just don't like it. So what is the setup that you need to use? Well, here we go. First, before I go into it, I want to take you back to the start of the game. When you started this game, you had all stock parts. This was the best setup you had. Do you notice that the power, grip, aero and reliability are all all the same? They're not fairly the same, they are the same. So it's a balanced setup. You've started with a balanced setup. Moving into Series 1. Now, these are all the Series 1 parts. I've pretty much maxed them all out, nearly. And look at the stats for Series 1. You've got your power 77, your grip 80, your aero 76, and your reliability 78. So your stats are still very, very balanced. Now, that's what you want to keep in mind. Whichever series you are in, you want to go for a balanced setup. You don't want 160 power, 110 grip. You want 140 power, 140 grip. You want to find the perfect balance with the level parts you have. So keep swapping them around, keep changing them, and find your best average setup. I wouldn't worry too much about reliability because you'll get used to it through the game. And once you upgrade your parts, they'll get a lot better. But what I would say is concentrate on your power, aero and grip. Okay. Let's look at then our Series 11/12, and this is what you want to get to. Okay. So we've got Claw, Mirage, Vindicator, Hydra, Flow and Leviathan as the epic part. So we've got a Series 10, a Series 7, a Series 11, another Series 11, another Series 11, and a Series 12. So this setup is what you want to aim for towards the end of the game. Look at the power, grip, and the aero. They're fairly similar. They're quite balanced. And because we've upgraded a lot, reliability is up there, and the pit time is fairly decent. Okay. Because I am such a high level, I've got such a balanced setup with drivers and parts. I qualify near the front every time at the moment in Series 11. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. I'm always at the front. Now, I am dropping down some drivers to hopefully give you a race which I can win and show you how this setup works. I always tend to get decent matchups. 9 times out of 10, it's in a lower opponent. So let's hope on this case I get a lower opponent. Fingers crossed. We do. So straight away, this is what I tend to get. I will sometimes get a higher opponent with higher flags, and I will have a lot more difficult race on my hands. Sometimes I'll use boosts to help me win them, but they're never unwinnable. They're always winnable. So let's have a look where we start then. Remember, I'm using 2 weaker drivers. And already 7th, 11th, Rival is back in 14 and 16. Okay. So let's go for the soft medium strategy for both cars. Now, I'm not going to say on this strategy, on this setup, that you're going to suddenly be 10 places above your opponent. The chances are you're going to get a bit more balanced matchups, and you're going to have more chance of winning with a very decent setup. Okay? As Stroll goes straight down the inside into P2, Bottas into 11th. But that's what you need to stick to. Find a setup which is balanced. It's not highly effective in one area alone. Go for a very balanced setup and keep at it. Keep with it and you will reap the rewards. Honestly, I haven't changed this setup at all for the last 2-3 months. I've just left it as it is and upgraded the parts when I've had enough. And I don't need to change. So if it doesn't need to change for me, it doesn't need to change for you. Okay? That's one thing you need to remember. But it is the number one setup on this game at the minute, by far. For GPs, for the Grand Prix, I've finished a P2, a P6 and a P2 for the last 3. You just don't need to change anything. Use your best 2 drivers. And if it's a 10% driver currently on the Grand Prix event, then use them because they'll bring your team score down quite a bit. But just play around, but make sure you stick to that setup, okay? Let's finish this race then. Hopefully we can get Bottas up into a higher position. So we are going to go 4 soft, 4 medium. And Ocon is currently... Stroll is currently in 2nd. That's a nice start. Bottas into 11th. We're going to go around one more time. And we're going to come back out on mediums for Stroll. And we're going to come back out on mediums for Bottas. Stroll's now in the lead. And that's because Max Verstappen pitted. Bottas into 9th after a few more pit stops. This setup can be used on any track as well. There's not a specific track to use it on. Every track, every GP event, use this setup if you've got it. Bottas now into 8th. Might run out of tyres just shortly. I wasn't really looking at that part. But it's not going to be the end of the world. Stroll back out in 3rd with 2 hard tyres in front of him. Bottas is going to suffer because I wasn't watching the screen. So we'll boost Stroll, we'll boost Bottas. Let's see if we can get Bottas back up. So remember, Bottas was 11th and Stroll was 2nd. Stroll's back into 2nd now, chasing down Verstappen. Bottas has got a few people pitting in front, so he should make them positions back up. 1, I can see 2 at least pitting. As Bottas goes up the inside, gets 13th. About 3 cars in the pits. So Bottas back into 9th now. So he's jumped 2. And remember, guys, you can have a great setup, but you need the strategy to match. If you don't have a strategy, if you haven't learnt the tracks and what tyres to use and what strategy, then you need to learn them. Because you're not going to improve without learning the strategies. So Bottas is chasing down Gasly in 8th. Let's see if we can get him down the straight. And Bottas doesn't, sadly. Stroll's got 1 more lap. Stroll's now lapping the field. As Bottas is all over Gasly still. No pit stops from any more now. So we're through to the end with this. As Bottas goes up the inside into 8th. And Stroll going to cut him down. He's going to run out of tyres probably, but that's okay. Same with Bottas. We're going to cut down a little bit. But Stroll's actually lapping the opponent's both cars here. That's how dominant this setup and strategy is. Remember, that opponent was only no more than probably 5-6 places back, and we've literally lapped them with Stroll. And Bottas is coming around now to finish in 8th place. So remember, Bottas started a bit further down. We got a bit unlucky with running out of tyres, but we finished 1st and 8th from all the way back in 7th and something like 11th. And it definitely works, guys. Definitely have a look at that strategy. Let me know how you get on as well. because it definitely works for me all the time. And look at this matchup. We've got 100 nearly team score better. We're a lot quicker than the opponent. He had two Series 12 drivers. He had level 4 Verstappen, level 4 Norris. We lapped them. We nearly lapped them with Stroll. Our car was still better. And look, he's using a very similar strategy and setup, but he's using the Flux. Okay. So look at the matchup and how it is. We've took two better drivers for me, or two lower drivers. He took two better, and I've got a better matchup out of it. But I definitely say that this strategy and this setup gives me probably 9 lower matchups out of 10. Okay. So, like I said, guys, balanced setup. Through the series, whichever series you're in, find your most balanced setup, your best drivers, stick with it, and you will reap the rewards. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I will catch you in the very next one. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you.